This should be an absolute belter. Live from Paisley on BBC Radio Scotland is St Mirren against Hibs with Stephen Naismith and Rob McLean.
Cheers, Kenny. The second Premiership match of the weekend. 4 to come tomorrow, of course. 4 different kick-off times for the half-dozen fixtures as Piper Michael Kerr leads out the teams onto the pitch ahead of kick-off. Earlier today, Falkirk 1, Livingston 1, and those 4 games to come tomorrow are Aberdeen against Motherwell, Dundee Rangers, Hearts against Dundee United, all 3 o'clock starts, and then 4 o'clock for Celtic against Kilmarnock. You will get action from all of those tomorrow, but at the moment it's eyes down for this one. It's the League Cup finalists, of course. They're going to have that prefix in front of their name for the next 5 weeks ahead of their meeting with Celtic at Hampden, having blown away Motherwell in the end at Hampden last weekend. And as we were hearing from David Gray, it's a Hibs team looking to do a little bit better than they have done so far. They've lost third spot in the course of today to Falkirk. They can regain that one tonight, but I think they've got to be looking beyond that and operating towards the top end of the table. That's what you would expect from them, and so far they haven't really delivered on that score. 6 of their 11 games have been draws. Sometimes the margins have been pretty fine, and St Mirren, as I reflected there with Stephen Robinson, thinking they might have been 2 points better off after the key match incidents panel yesterday decided that their third goal against Hearts should have counted. That match finished 2 goals each, so they might have been a couple of points better off than they are. The players are going to gather around the centre circle now as everyone here marks remembrance. Everyone getting to their feet. And it's that moment where we remember the members of the armed forces who lost their lives in the line of duty. So here in Paisley, we will have a minute's silence.
May I ask if you stand if you're fit to do so for a moment of reflection while our Piper Michael Kerr plays the Flower of the Forest, which begins on the referee's whistle.
Well, that was cut short, and apologies for any bad language you may have picked up there, and apologies as well that the moment was lost. What should have been very poignant was destroyed by someone looking to make a name for themselves. Anyway, let's get down to football now. There's 5:45 kick-off in Paisley. St Mirren against Hibs. David Dickinson is the referee. A couple of changes for St Mirren, 3 for Hibs. The Cadden twins and Kieran Bowie returning. And for St Mirren, it's Richard King and Liam Donnelly who come into the team. Just about all set to go. St Mirren on 10 points, Hibs on 15. Underway in Paisley in the second match of the top flight weekend. The ball launched forward by Rafa Salinger, and here come St Mirren on the attack, having found the goal touch last weekend in the League Cup semi-final. And when you look, Stephen, at the league table, that's one of the stats that screams out at you, the fact they've only scored 8 league goals in 10 games.
Yeah, it is. And that's, I said it before the game, the small margins in games are defined in these. If you can get a goal, it makes a big difference.
Hibs making their first move into the final third down the left-hand side with Martin Boyle. Nicky Cadden behind him. Barlasser plays it out to the right side. Cadden is there. It's a slick attacking move from Hibs, still retaining possession. Back it goes with Rocky Bashiri, right side of the back three. Grant Hanley in the middle, Jack Iredale on the left, and a clumsy challenge on Bashiri. Hands Hibs a free kick.
I think this is what you're going to see throughout the game. The two shapes are the exact same. So whatever team's in possession, their wing backs just go really high and they end up playing against a back five. And we've seen that early on with St Mirren. And in that last attack, the Cadden brothers, as high as you want, playing like wingers, and effectively it's making that build up. Your three centre halves against the two forwards of St Mirren. So I think that'll be pretty common in the game because both sides have got the wing backs.
Well, the St Mirren physios are on already. It was Dan Naldula who made the challenge on Rocky Bashiri, the first foul of the game, and he's probably wishing he didn't bother now because it's he who's come off worse in that challenge. Immediately stayed down, physios on, having a look at him, and it would be a real blow if they were to have to make a change this early on, especially a player like him. I think he's okay. He's back on his feet now. He's not moving too well, but hopefully he's okay to continue because he scored 3 goals in his last 3 games. He's made a major impact. He's off at the moment, but hopefully for St Mirren he'll be back on shortly. So free kick, Hibs, 10 yards inside the St Mirren half. Jamie McGrath to take this. A chance to get the ball in the box for Hibs. Defended well at the edge of the area by St Mirren. Declan John tries to run with the ball, and immediately the Hibs players swarming around to win it. Martin Boyle darting to the byline, and he flashes one across the face of goal. It was a brilliant ball in, and Kieran Bowie was very close. Back in again from Nicky Cadden. This time it bounces into the gloves of the goalkeeper.
That was a good opportunity. Boyle does brilliant to go down the far side of the box, whips it across. I think Bowie doesn't see it till late behind Freckleton, and he just doesn't make contact.
Liam Donnelly wins a header in the midfield, replacing Mark O'Hara, who's out with a foot injury. The man who generally wears the captain's armband. Cross it goes to Miguel Freckleton, left side of the 3 for St Mirren. Richard King replacing Alex Gogic, who's suspended again. Long ball downfield for St Mirren, gaining some territory, and the ball breaks the way of Declan John. Donnelly squares it across, and it's now with Killian Phillips down the right side. Jaden Richardson there too. Back for Phillips. Brilliant ball in, and the diving header from Rocky Bashiri bullets the ball behind into a brilliant area from Richardson.
Great play, as we said. Both teams trying to get down the sides of their centre halves. St Mirren using their wing backs and then coming back out to Phillips, who puts a really dangerous ball in, just coming between penalty spot and 6-yard box. And Bashiri does really well to defend it and put it out for a corner. Yeah,
Phillips with a cross. It was into a terrific area. Lots of pace on it as well. Here comes the corner kick for St Mirren, right hand side. 0-0 early on in Paisley. It's angled back the way towards Declan John. Chipped in by Bacchus, big chance, big goal. St Mirren ahead already is Marcus Fraser, who gets his first goal of the season, and the League Cup finalists are in front against Hibs inside 5 minutes.
I'll tell you what, David Gray will not be happy. St Mirren load the box, they take it short, Boyle comes out, but normally in these situations, 2 players will come out, maybe the guy in the front area and somebody from the edge of the box. But nobody helps Boyle, and the 2 St Mirren players just play a 1-2. The delivery comes in unopposed, to the near post, and Marcus Fraser loses his man, and he's free 4 yards from goal and just knocks it down and around the goalie's feet and under him and at the near post. Really poor goal from Hibs. Great start for St Mirren.
And a bit of a collector's item for Marcus Fraser, because he doesn't score too many, but that's so important.
He never even had to jump for the header. He was standing in acres of space, no pressure, and the delivery was right on his head.
There is a VAR check going on for possible offside. Well, Marcus Fraser will be hoping the goal stands, because these moments for him don't come around very often. Certainly first goal of the season, first goal for a while. And as Stephen says, it was so straightforward, it was so easy, it was so predictable, but it was so badly defended.
It was. Like I said, normally when there's a short corner, there's players identified before the game who will be the ones to go out and put pressure on the ball. But it was just an easy 2v1. Boyle's trying to stop the cross, do the 1-2, and the cross comes in 2 yards from the byline. Simple cross under no pressure, and they'll be fortunate if they can get away. It must be an offside call, I would presume.
St Mirren looking to pick up where they left off last weekend. That 4-goal victory, 4-1 against Motherwell. And for a team that's been struggling to score goals, they've just added another one to the total. The goal stands. St Mirren in front by 1-0, or is it? Well, the St Mirren fans thought that the goal was going to stand. It's been ruled out for offside.
Hibs have got away with that. I think now you can see Craig Sampson out dictating who should be going out and rectifying that mistake, but it's a let-off.
Billy Dodds, you're watching the telly in the studio. Explain that one for us.
No, it's really close, obviously, lads, but it's just when they take the shot corner, goes back to the crosser. Marcus Fraser, when he crosses it, is just slightly in front of him. It's such a tight call. I thought the crosser might be in line with him, but sadly for St Mirren he wasn't, and Marcus Fraser's flagged offside.
I think it was Keanu Bacchus, was it, who played in the cross. Certainly Marcus Fraser on the end of it, and that's really disappointing for St Mirren, who thought they were off to a flyer, but the goal doesn't stand, and the scoreboard in the corner reverts to 0-0. Richard King in possession. The Gogic replacement, angled ball out towards the right hand side. Really nice touch to get control of it initially from Jayden Richardson, but then he couldn't prevent the ball going behind for the goal kick. But you can see what St Mirren are planning, and Richardson can certainly do some damage down the right side for them. Hibs with the ball. Iredale fires it forward. Marcus Fraser heads it away. Barlasser is onto it. Now Jamie McGrath dinks the ball forward. It's Josh Mulligan who takes the shot on 25 yards out, but never looked totally convincing over it, and it's a few feet too high.
Yeah, no, again another decent opportunity. McGrath picks it up in the space in the 10 position. Pressure comes, I think, from Donnelly. He just knocks it past him. Mulligan's got a good few yards, 20-25 yards out, and the ball's always rising, but I think he could have done better with his shot.
Shamal George with the goal kick for the home team. Barlasser wins the header. Then it's King for St Mirren. And running the ball out of play was Jamie McGrath, who used to be very popular in these parts. And he was a smart signing for Hibs in the summer, having been with Aberdeen. And he's got 5 goals already for Hibs. He's a handy customer because he can make things happen, and he's got that ability, Stephen, to take opportunities as well.
He's got really good quality going forward, really intelligent as well as a player, and he's got a composure about him. I think he's Hibs' top goal scorer, which tells you how influential he's been.
On the half volley, fired forward by Nicky Cadden for Hibs. King made the challenge, and now Miguel Freckleton on the ball. He's been a terrific acquisition for the Paisley team, the 21-year-old wearing number 21. Back with King, it's another of those diagonals looking for Richardson. Chested down by the wing-back. Can he get this in from the byline? Tucks it in low. Phillips with his back to goal. Couldn't gather it. Hit the deck. There were strangled shouts for penalty. That was never a shout. But here goes Cadden quickly, moving in the other direction. In fact, it was Iredale who'd swapped positions momentarily with Cadden, who was making progress down that left-hand side. Another clumsy challenge from a St Mirren point of view. Bacchus with the foul on McGrath. Hibs take it quickly. Back it goes to Bashiri on the halfway line. St Mirren 0, Hibs 0. 10 minutes gone in Paisley on BBC Radio Scotland. Cadden plays a ball inside. It was behind Boyle, but it worked out for Barlasser. He played it forward, back from King to George. He clears. Grant Hanley wins the aerial tussle with Mikael Mandron. Onto the loose ball goes Cadden. Nicky Cadden gets the ball back. Bowie to Boyle. Great control at the edge of the area, looking for the glimmer of a chance to get a shot away. Squares it to Chris Cadden. Back with Boyle, 30 yards from goal. A jinking run, pulling players towards him. Now it's McGrath, left side, just outside the box. Barlasser again threads it through. It's probing play this from Hibs. The curling ball in from McGrath, headed away by Richard King. Now Lundulu rolls it back to Marcus Fraser. St Mirren having soaked up that Hibs attacking phase, which was pretty impressive. It just needed the final ball to be a little bit better.
Yeah, they've got a good bit of movement. Their midfielders are getting involved. Bowie and Boy are definitely making movements, trying to disrupt that back line, and that's what they'll need to do.
From Fraser back to Phillips on the halfway line in the centre circle with Richard King. Gets it back from Bacchus. Forward it goes towards Mandron, who dropped off. Now through for Lindulu. Just found a little bit of room there for a moment. Here come St Mirren again with Richardson and Donnelly. Back for Phillips. It's another curling ball in. Not enough height on it this time to get in behind. But Killian Phillips can try again. He threads it through towards Donnelly. Bacchus. Declan John squares it. Maybe a shooting chance for Liam Donnelly, but he had to hit it quickly, and it sliced off the outside of his right boot and wide of goal. But it was good build-up there from St Mirren.
It was. Both teams are getting it to that final third, and then it's about trying to work the opportunity, whether it to be a cross or get a shot. Donnelly takes one there, and similar to Mulligan's, it's rising all the time, but he did have a few yards, and he expected to do a bit better.
St Mirren are 5 points behind Hibs, but they do have a game in hand. So were they to win this one, it would be a significant result for Stephen Robinson and his team. And, well, you heard him pre-match, he feels he needs some better results in terms of the standard that the St Mirren fans have become used to, the results that Robinson has had. Long ball up for Hibs for Bowie, very well defended by Freckleton, just tucking in to get his body in front of Bowie and remove any possibility of a shot on goal. Iredale for Hibs with a looping ball down the side. Boyle uses his body to hold off Fraser. Now he looks to jink away from him. Hits the deck, and well, there's a bit of a transatlantic delay before David Dickinson gives the free kick. He had a think about it, and he's given Boyle the benefit of the doubt.
Fraser actually does well to close the space, and he makes contact with Boyle, which makes him turn, and then Fraser drops off, allowing Boyle then to size him up, driving him down the side of the box. And when you've got that pace going against you, the first thing in your mind is he's not getting past me, and I think that's what Fraser does. He just gets his arm across him, and I think it was rightly a foul here, just in the wide area, about 18 yards in the wide area for Hibs.
Yeah, it's just in between the touchline and the left corner of the penalty box, and it's Nicky Cadden and Jamie McGrath who are over this, right foot or left. Hibs looking for the breakthrough in Paisley. It is Nicky Cadden who plays it in. King got his head to it, not totally clear. It stood up from the right side back into the box, and it's really good handling, very calm under the high ball there with Shamal George. That was always going to be the goalkeepers.
George has been a really good signing. I think he's a calming presence at the back, and he was certainly there.
St Mirren 0, Hibs 0, 15 minutes gone. If you've just joined us, well, you missed the early drama with Marcus Fraser heading the ball in the back of the net, and lots of celebrations going on in the usual fashion, and then the anti-climax that followed when VAR ruled it out. St Mirren meantime are probing again at the Hibs back line. Chris Cadden looking to get the ball moving down the right-hand side for Hibs, overrun it in the end. St Mirren have possession with Richard King. Again, it's that diagonal, trying to get the ball in behind for Jayden Richardson. Didn't make contact that time. Hibs cantering with McGraw. Slips it through towards Bowie, turning inside, left side of the box. Squares it now. Mulligan thought about the shot on the right boot. Now with the left, blocked by Fraser. Hibs still have it. Nicky Cadden, left-hand side, just outside the box. Plays it in, just a little bit too much on it. And it needs chasing out towards the right-hand side. Hibs retaining possession. About 35 yards from goal. Slipped through. Cleared as far as McGraw, and it was a challenge from Killian Phillips that got everything. It got a bit of McGraw, but it got the ball crucially, and St Mirren can now charge forward with Lundulu and Phillips, right corner of the penalty box. Turn back towards Bacchus. Phillips. Richardson now, right-hand side, just overran it, but his pace, of course, can make up for bad touches sometimes. The ball, though, slips behind in the end, and it's going to be a goal kick.
It's certainly got that. Both teams attack. They are getting to the final third. It is interesting, actually, though, but both teams are playing the same shape. But Hibs, Boyle and Bowie are playing on the outside centre-halves and allowing the middle centre-half to have it. And for St Mirren are basically playing with their two strikers inside the pitch, which are allowing Hibs' outside centre-halves to have the ball. And that's a slight difference with the two of them here. But Boyle and Bowie have definitely caused them the three centre-halves problems down the sides when the wing-backs press.
Yeah, lots of good attacking play, but no saves so far. Nothing really for Shamal George nor Rafa Salinger to do, and all we've had really close in has been that Marcus Fraser header, which was eventually ruled out, and we're still goalless in Paisley with 18 minutes gone. Earlier on it was Falkirk 1, Livingston 1. Brian Graham's penalty cancelled out late on by Danny Wilson in 89 minutes, but enough for Falkirk to move into third spot meantime in the Premiership. Some showing from John McGlynn and his team as they just move on up through the leagues and just keep on doing what they're doing.
They do. They've been, to be fair, Livingston and Falkirk have been good additions this season. They're making it tough. The bottom of the league's very congested, and I'm sure it'll be a battle come the end of the season. Nicky
Cadden with that ability very often in a really tight situation out wide to wrap his foot around the ball and get it into the danger zone. That wasn't one of those occasions because he just left himself with too much to do. But his delivery, Stephen, is top drawer, isn't it?
It was. Last season, that was a very strong part of Hibs' game. He was involved in a lot of attacks and goals. This season, maybe been a bit more disrupted, but he's got real quality in that left foot. It's quite similar to Declan John on the other side of the pitch for St Mirren as well.
Yep. We're in the 20th minute. St Mirren 0, Hibs 0, and 2 balls on the pitch at the moment. And Rafa Salinger is going to do something about the second one, which will enable Shamal George down at the other end to get this game going again. Launched downfield towards Lundulu, tried to flick it on. In went Killian Phillips. There was a high boot from Jack Iredale and a free kick for the Paisley team. Phillips is perpetual motion in that St Mirren midfield.
He's definitely all action. I think he's had about 3 knocks to the head already in a game when he's been up for headers. That one there was definitely a foul.
Yeah, happy to go in where it hurts, the Irishman. So what can St Mirren make of this set piece? It's Keanu Bacchus to swing it into the box, missed by everybody, and when it bounced way beyond the back post, there was a real chance there for Richard King to try and make something happen and keep that alive, but it's gone pretty tamely into the side net, and we stay goalless with nearly 21 minutes gone. Grant Hanley on the ball for Hibs. No Warren O'Hora, although he is back and available, back in the squad again. Barlasser plays it through for Bowie, a touch and a turn, and he swings it out wide and he puts too much on the pass, and even the pace of Chris Cadden wasn't going to get him there in time. A little bit loose from Hibs, who had got themselves into a pretty good position on the pitch, but Bowie back in the team, unable to make the pass count.
It was so. Cadden was in acres of space on that right hand side, and you'd have expected another good delivery to come in if he'd made contact and got possession.
Kieran Bowie left out of the latest Scotland squad. Lawrence Shanklin, of course, in top form, returning, and there will be other opportunities, won't there, for Bowie?
There certainly will be. He's somebody who started this season really well. It's tough when you're at a club the size of Hibs and the demand is a forward, and when we talk about him being young, it's young in terms of games at first team level.
Yeah.
And that's the part that it's hard to keep that consistency, and he's still learning his trade, but he's definitely got great attributes that will make him, I'm sure, a regular in the seasons to come.
Iredale overlapping Nicky Cadden. Marcus Fraser blocked the cross, and it's gone out for a throw-in rather than a corner kick. Yeah, he's turned 23, Kieran Bowie, but with injuries, he doesn't have an awful lot of mileage on the clock, and he'll hope for an injury-free couple of years and really make his mark.
Definitely. I think even in the early games this season, you've seen his qualities, his hold-up play, his finish in Europe was instinctive, unbelievable, 30, 40, 50 yards. It's just about getting that consistency. That's the biggest thing he needs to work on.
Long throw for Hibs coming up. Iredale flings it in, headed away by Richard King. Back with Iredale, heading towards the byline, but again it's really good defending from St Mirren. It was Jayden Richardson who just got his body in the way, and that was the end of that. The ball goes behind for a goal kick, and we've gone just past the midway point in the first half, and there has been some good attacking play, but as you've said more than once, Stephen, shape-wise they're doing a pretty good job, these two, of cancelling each other out. Yeah,
the middle of the pitch is so congested. 6 midfielders, you've got then your forwards are sitting right back on the deep midfielders of the opposition. The space is the wider areas, and it makes the game quite
St Mirren playing it out, and that might cause problems. It has caused problems. It's Josh Mulligan who's fired Hibs in front. It was played out by Shamal George to Richard King. He didn't control the pass. St Mirren were in trouble from that point onwards. Jamie McGrath seized on it as the St Mirren players still argue about responsibility, but when it was launched into the box quickly by McGrath, it was Josh Mulligan on the end of it who side-footed the ball past the St Mirren goalkeeper, and Hibs are ahead.
You could see it going. I was in mid-sentence talking, and I stopped because you could just see it developing. Hibs were, St Mirren had opened up to build up their play, and they lose the ball. Mulligan from midfield just takes off in the middle of the pitch, and as he comes across the pitch, it gets laid to him right just round about the 18-yard box, and he just steps on, doesn't try and blast it, side foots it, great finish into the top half of the net, and yeah, this might open the game up that wee bit more from how it's been.
Well, it was beautifully finished by Josh Mulligan and well set up by Jamie McGrath. But that's a gift of a goal, really, from a St Mirren point of view. And the arguing goes on between King and George as to who ultimately takes responsibility for that. But as Stephen says, what a finish that is. It's his third goal for Hibs, Josh Mulligan. And he's finished it as if that's his key job, as if that's what he does. The side foot, no panic, very calm, placed it in the corner where the goalkeeper couldn't get to it.
It was a poor ball out from George, but every decision after that from a Hibs point of view was perfect.
Yeah. Great work by Jamie McGrath. He just did it quickly, and he pulled the ball back towards the penalty spot. That's where Mulligan had advanced to, and from there on it was simplicity itself with the finish.
The finish itself, people will look at it and think it's a simple finish, but there's an urge when you're on that pitch to see that ball coming across your body, to try and put power on it, and that's where you go wrong. I think Mulligan's done fantastic just to open his foot up, guide the ball more than anything out of the goalie's reach, and it is a really, really good goal from a Hibs point of view.
He's going to be some player, isn't he, Josh Mulligan? He's only 22. He did great stuff with Dundee. He's moved up a level. Maybe Dundee fans won't like that phrase, but he's playing at a better level. And you imagine a Scotland player of the near future as well?
He got drafted in last month, and the more contact with that national teams are only going to benefit him, but he's somebody whose path's been perfect. He's come through a youth academy, he's got first team football at the right time, he's then progressed, became a main player at that club, and then moved on and constantly testing himself, which can only benefit him.
Hibs are ahead and they've got a free kick here, and it's Nicky Cadden who swings it in. It was a really dangerous delivery. It bounced in the 6-yard box. If anyone had got a touch on that, it could have been 2-0. Nobody got into that area, and it was taken in the end fairly comfortably by Shamal George. A mistake at the back for Hibs this time. Iredale misses it. Phillips can pull the ball back, and it's a great bit of covering, defending to slide the ball behind, because that was dangerous as Phillips got himself to the byline.
Yeah, it was. This left-hand side of Hibs seems to be an area that St Mirren are testing, whether it be the wing-back making the run. This time it was Phillips, and it was behind Iredale. Iredale goes down as if he's been pushed from behind, and good covering from Hibs defensively, but it was an opportunity there.
Corner kick, St Mirren, right-hand side. It's going to be Declan John with the in-swinger right on top of Salinger. Decent punch from the goalkeeper, but he didn't get massive distance. There's a big shout for a penalty. Marcus Fraser is on the deck, and David Dickinson doesn't look too interested.
Without seeing a replay, I'm not sure it is. I think he's trying to be cute, get his body between man and ball, and wait for the contact.
Certainly no word of a VAR check. Play goes on. Fraser defending midway inside his own half, and Killian Phillips fires the ball back to Shamal George. St Mirren 0, Hibs 1 in the second match of the Premiership weekend. Ball down the line from Fraser, easily dealt with by Nicky Cadden. Now Rocky Bashiri right in the middle of the pitch for Hibs. It's been Bashiri or Hanley at times, but both playing here as Hibs look to make something happen with Cadden and Mulligan combining, and the cross ball is blocked at the expense of a corner kick. Hibs have their tails up at the moment, having gone in front in Paisley. They could have been a goal down early on. It was ruled out, and now the lead courtesy of Josh Mulligan.
Again, this corner arrives from that space between the outside of St Mirren centre halves and the wing backs. This time it's Mulligan making that run into the space, and basically they're attacking St Mirren's box every time from the wide areas. It's definitely an area they're trying to use.
It's a Nicky Cadden corner kick, takes it short, gets it back. Now he lofts it in, loads of height, back post, defended well enough by St Mirren, who looked to counter, and Bacchus flicks the ball towards where he was hoping Killian Phillips would be. It was Chris Cadden who did that great bit of defending earlier on, by the way, for Hibs, when Phillips got to the byline and pulled the ball into the 6-yard box. It looked as if it might well have chances of being an equaliser for the home team, and it was Cadden who'd come all the way across from the right side to the post on the opposite side, and he got the slide in to turn the ball behind.
He did. I think when somebody's driving into your box from the wide area at that near post, you need to cover that near post, and that's certainly what Cadden done, coming right across the goal, because if that ball's played right across the face of goal, it's a tap in for St Mirren's strike force.
Half an hour gone in Paisley. Hibs have a 1-goal advantage. Richard King plays it into the feet of Mikel Mandron. Well, Mandron was trying to slip a pass through towards Lundulu, but well, he wasn't going to catch that. Far too much on it from Mandron, and it goes all the way behind for a goal kick. But they have shown signs in recent games, those two, of combining very effectively. Both of them have been among the goals in the last couple of weeks. Jonah Ayunga on the bench for St Mirren as Salinger plays the ball out for Hibs. Out to the left-hand side for Iredale. Barlasser to McGrath. St Mirren pressing. The ball fired forward to Martin Boyle, left-hand side. Tries to turn away from Richard King. Keeps the ball effectively, and Nicky Cadden plays it back to Grant Hanley on the edge of the penalty box. Room for Jack Iredale to push forward. Iredale called up to the Australian national squad. Barlasser with a crossfield ball, which will be kept in by Rocky Bashiri on the right-hand side for Hibs. Hibs all in black, St Mirren in their normal attire, and covering across is Richard King to turn the ball back to his goalkeeper. Those two will be having a fairly animated conversation at half-time, I would imagine, about the way the goal was conceded. Played back by King to his goalkeeper, then it was straight back out to him. Not sure he wanted it. That will be his message, I would imagine. Couldn't control it, and from there on things went horribly wrong for St Mirren. McGrath setting up Mulligan for what is the only goal of the game so far. Meantime, the ball dribbles out on the far side, on halfway for a throw-in for the home team. Looking to build on their success of last weekend. They can tuck that one away now. 5 weeks till the League Cup final against Celtic. Great achievement for St Mirren, and now they turn their attentions to their league form. Fraser's cross was blocked. Liam Donnelly tries to get there, and he's fouled by Jamie McGrath. Maybe a challenge McGrath didn't need to be making, and it's a free kick out on the right-hand side, about 30 yards from goal.
I think every free kick in this game has been in nice sides, both sides of the pitch, and that kind of tells you with the both shapes. But again, this is another dangerous area with the quality of delivery of Bacchus and John. It's one that will need to be defended well. Similar position to the goal that was chopped off against Hearts, just on the opposite side of the pitch.
St Mirren chasing an equaliser. It's Bacchus who curls it in. It's a great punch by the goalkeeper, Salinger, all in pink. You can see him very clearly, and he came for that one and he had to get it, and he did. It was bags of conviction from the keeper, and that's what defenders around him want. Out to Iredale, left side. Hibs a goal up. Barlasser with a driving run, making some ground and feeding the ball out wide to Nicky Cadden. Iredale gets involved again. Triangle of passes down this left-hand side. Dan Barlasser cuts in. Boyle tries the step over. Cleared by King, but given away by Richard King, whose confidence may be affected by the way the goal was conceded. In the end, I think there's an offside flag, and it's going to be a free kick for St Mirren.
Yeah, Hibs are definitely the team that look more comfortable, especially in possession. They're moving it about. They've got loads of movement off the ball, which is allowing them to control the game. It's not been letting St Mirren get to that final third and put dangerous balls in the box.
Hibs will go back third if they can win this one. they'll move on to 18 points, but it's a bit early to be looking at the repercussions in the league table. St Mirren want to do something about this deficit, and the ball is fed back by Mandron to Freckleton, who loves to get forward. His pass deflected and cleared by Rocky Bashiri. Bowie looking to fire it forward. It's a mistake by Freckleton, who has to now get back with Boyle scurrying forward. Slipped inside. Great defensive challenge by Marcus Fraser. Just as the danger signs were flashing around the stadium, with Hibs threatening again. Chris Cadden it was, getting in on the end of that pass, and what a bit of defending that was from Fraser.
It was excellent, but it comes from King's sloppiness again. He'd won a minute ago on the edge of his box where he plays a poor pass. This time the ball's cleared by Hibs, and he doesn't make contact with the ball. It goes under his foot and boils down that right hand side channel. Cadden continues his run, but it was an excellent defending from Fraser.
You just wonder if the goal is still playing on his mind, Richard King.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely one of those things that will be as a defender.
St Mirren on the attack with Jayden Richardson. Back it goes. The high-hanging cross. A bullet header saved by Salinger. Is it going to be scrambled in? It's cleared off the line, and there is an offside flag.
I'll tell you what, that delivery for Donnelly was unbelievable. Whipped it. He was facing the stand, and he's whipped it right to the back post. And I'm not sure who it was that made the first contact, but it's saved by Salinger, and Phillips has come in onto it. He's about 3 yards out, and it's as if he just needs to chest into the net, but I don't know whether it just bounces and comes off him at an angle rather than just straightforward and going in the net. But all of a sudden I don't know whether it's maybe hit his hand and the refs gave a foul for handball.
Well, it was some scramble. Dodsy's watching the TV pictures in the studio, and well, I guess when the ball was saved by Salinger but not held, I guess you had your money on that little scramble in the 6-yard box, ending up with the ball in the back of the net.
Yes, I mean, it's a fabulous run. I think it's Bacchus getting in there. Brilliant delivery, as Stephen said, from Donnelly. Pinpoint, runs just from the edge of the box, goes in, and it's a brilliant save to keep out, and then Phillips just can't bundle it over the line. But another excellent opportunity for St Mirren.
Here they come again with Mikael Mandron. Did he have the legs whipped out from under him? He certainly did. It's going to be another free kick. We're heading towards half-time, just about 7 minutes remaining of the first 45, and the home team just trying to turn up the heat a bit here in search of a leveller, having gone behind to that Josh Mulligan goal.
Wee bit of momentum building. I think that chance just before gets the hopes up, and again Mandron's dropping off the top line and finding wee pockets to get the ball and get turned, and they're either getting fouls or playing at the final third. They'll be, this last 7-8 minutes, they'll look to try and create some chances.
As ever, Bacchus and John are over this free kick. It's about 45 yards out, right hand side. Can't see Mirren get some joy from the set play. Bacchus flights it in very carefully, but nobody able to get a touch on that, and it's gone all the way behind for a goal kick. Man down at the moment for St Mirren, but no joy from that set piece.
Yeah, Donnelly's down in the box, but I think the delivery was just behind the defenders as they rush into the box, and it goes behind everybody and out for a goal kick.
St Mirren 0, Hibs 1, after Falkirk 1, Livingston 1 earlier in the day, and those 4 Premiership games to follow tomorrow. Full coverage on Sportsound, of course. McGrath plays the ball back for Hibs to Iredale to fire it forward. Doesn't stick for Boyle. St Mirren have it with Killian Phillips. Fired in, angled in towards Lundulu in the middle of the pitch. Now Bacchus puts his foot in the ball, spins, does well to keep possession of the ball. Marcus Fraser to Liam Donnelly, and back with Richard King, and left of him is Miguel Freckleton. Played up towards Lundulu, and free kick given against Rocky Bashiri's challenge.
that was another example there of out of possession. Hibs are happy for the centre halves of St Mirren to have the ball. Bowie's dropping out on his left hand side and Boyle's dropping off on the right hand side. They're playing really wide out of possession, which is then forcing St Mirren to advance and open up that space behind, and that's a couple of times there. If that foul's not given, Hibs have a counter attack and a chance.
So another St Mirren free kick. We're inside the last 5 minutes of the first half in Paisley under the lights. Big crowd, good atmosphere. Hibs fans happy at the moment behind Salinger's goal. Declan John swings in the free kick, but it was always angled towards the goalkeeper, and comfortable catch for the Austrian Rafa Salinger.
Great sign when you're a defender, seeing that goalie coming off his line and catching it, defusing the situation.
Down the line for Hibs, slips away from McGrath. St Mirren have it with Killian Phillips. Back it goes for Richardson to fire it forward. Down goes Mikel Mandron. No free kick for them this time. And as Iredale pushes forward, it's Phillips in with the challenge to turn the ball out of play. Collected by Hibs head coach David Gray. Hands it to Jack Iredale, has a little word with him as well. He'll be pretty happy so far, David Gray, with his team's performance. Desperate for a win, having drawn so many games. Clearing for St Mirren was Freckleton. The ball is bouncing around in the midfield. Mulligan gets there first and flicks it towards Chris Catton, who's immediately off and running. Mulligan again, the goal scorer, slips the ball inside. Barlasser to the byline for Boyle to turn the ball back. Blocked by Freckleton, floated back in, and at the back post was Nicky Catton trying to get his head to it. It's gone looping wide of target, and it's going to be a goal kick to St Mirren, and it's 3 minutes away from half-time, and it's 1-0 Hibs.
Yeah, I think this first half St Mirren will be disappointed with the amount of final third chances or good opportunities they've had, but that you've got to credit Hibs for that. Hibs have managed the game well at the right times. They've looked a threat going forward, and there's not been much in the game, but if any team were to be in the lead, it probably should be Hibs.
Yeah, when they've had their big chance, they have been clinical. It's the word that Stephen Robinson's been using about his team. They need to be more clinical, a bit like they were at Hampden last weekend. Unlucky, of course, to have that early goal ruled out, but Hibs looking as if they mean business here today, and they have that advantage at the moment, even if it is a slender advantage. Backus in the centre circle, clever ball out wide for Richardson, lovely touch, puts it in front of Killian Phillips, and he fires it from 15 yards out from an angle, and Salinger wasn't going to be catching that one. He just beats it away, turns it around the post for the corner. Really
good bit of play again, this left hand side of Hibs. The ball diagonals out to Richardson. Phillips has just went a bit higher and pinned Cadden. As it goes to Richardson, Cadden tries to put pressure on it, and Richardson plays a lovely first time ball through for Phillips to come in at the angle, and he takes a shot on. It's a good save. Yeah, it was a lovely touch from Jaden Richardson, just cushioned it with his right foot, popped it in front of Phillips, and it was hit with ferocity from the midfielder. Corner kick, right hand side, Backus, outswinger, big chance, and the header goes just wide of target, palmed away by Salinger. St Mirren threatening from that set piece. Yeah, I'm not sure it was the header was on target. It was just, it looked as if it was just gone past the post, but Salinger doesn't know that, and he makes a good save.
We're inside stoppage time, or well, we will be shortly. There are going to be 3 minutes added the way things stand at the moment. We're on 44. Worrying for Hibs was the fact that St Mirren got first contact on that corner kick, and well, we were right behind it, and the header was going just wide as Salinger flung himself across, and he's looked pretty solid and secure in goals for Hibs so far.
He's been a really good addition. He's looked calm, he's looked assured. again, with the ball at his feet, he's comfortable, and you don't underestimate the balls in the box. When he comes off his line to make come and collect them, it's so valuable for your team, especially away from home. So yeah, his first half performance has been excellent.
We'll get confirmation right now that it is 3 minutes being added to the first 45 as the ball is flicked on towards Mandron, and he just turned and he wanted to slip in Lundulu, and as he was playing the pass, he must have seen out of the corner of his eye that his strike partner was standing right alongside him.
If I'm honest, it's good defending for Bashiri. Bashiri pins him in, and it's that he's trying to slip him through, but Bashiri's body's in the way, and it looks as if he's not made the run, but Bashiri's positioning was excellent there.
Fired downfield by Rafa Salinger towards Bowie to flick it on for Hibs. Tacking in to clear was Marcus Fraser. Launched forward again towards Mandron. They're going to give it one almighty effort, St Mirren, in these last couple of minutes of the first half to see if they can cancel out that Mulligan goal. It's got a clever ball from Jaden Richardson out on the right hand side. He just clipped it into the right side of the box for again the Phillips run. Just a little bit too much on it, and it bounced away from him.
Yeah, it was a difficult one, but it was a good effort. He's seen the run from Phillips. Again, this left hand side's where nearly every attack for St Muns came from, and it's definitely something they can make use of in the second half.
Iredale fires it forward down the line. Martin Boyle waiting to receive it. Backing into Marcus Fraser, holding him off. Curling a great ball in as well. Richard King getting his head to it. And Bacchus completing the clearance and playing the ball up to Lundulu. Bacchus again. And it'll be pulled back for the free kick. And Keanu Bacchus will be pleased about that because he'd overhit his pass, but David Dickinson had seen a foul earlier, and he brings it back to the halfway line.
I think it's the first time that left-hand side Declan John's been on his bike and he sees the space, and Bacchus just needs to roll it into that channel, but he, as you say, he overhits it, and the refs pulled it back for what was a foul from Bashiri on the halfway line.
2 minutes added to the first 45. 1 to go. 1-0 Hibs. Free kick, St Mirren on the halfway line. Shamal George launches it to the edge of the Hibs penalty box. It's still there, it's not cleared yet. Bit of a scramble before Mulligan gets it away. Fraser on halfway and forced to play the ball back to his goalkeeper. The diagonal this time from Shamal George. Mandron tries to help it on, and out comes the ever-dependable Salinger to pounce on the ball, and that will be just about that for the first half as he rolls the ball out to Grant Hanley, and in front of him Dan Barlasser. Mulligan to Iredale. Down the line it goes, cushioned pass away from Fraser to Richardson, and that is half-time in Paisley, and Hibs on track for the win they so badly want, courtesy of Josh Mulligan's third goal of the season. It was a bit of a shocker between Shamal George and Richard King, who couldn't control the pass out from his goalkeeper. It was Jamie McGrath who seized on the mistake and fired the ball into the box, where the advancing Mulligan very calmly side-footed the ball past George for the only goal of the game so far. St Mirren might well have been in front inside 5 minutes. Goal given initially by the officials. Fraser on the end of the Bacchus cross to hit the ball in. It was poor defensively from Hibs, but they were relieved when VAR took control and ruled out the goal for offside. So it's Mulligan with the only goal so far, and it's half-time in Paisley. St Mirren 0, Hibs 1.
Scottish football lives here.
What a goal! This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
BBC Children in Need is back this Friday night, and it's gonna be a big one.
Oh yeah.
With music from Lewis Capaldi,
Woo-hoo.
a mini apprentice special, the smallest gladiators around.
Please welcome Minnie Diamond.
Do you want my autograph?
And loads more.
Wow.
Yes.
Plus, meet the real stars of the night, the kids. Take it away, Minnie Vernon Kay.
Cheers, Big Vernon Kay. Children in Need, Friday night at 7 on BBC iPlayer.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. It's been a busy old day. We come on air at 2 o'clock today. One game kicked off in the top flight at 3 o'clock. Falkirk 1, Livingston 1. A late equaliser for Livy in that game. Falkirk going ahead from the penalty spot in the first half. VAR intervening correctly and awarding the penalty for a handball in the area. So one apiece there. 5:45 start in Paisley. Full second half commentary to come. St Mirren 0, Hibs 1. Billy Dodds alongside me in the studio. Plenty of talking points, but it's been a decent first half, hasn't it?
No, good game. I mean, Hibs have taken the lead, but St Mirren have had plenty of chances as well. But it was go back to the Hibs goal, the only goal of the game, that St Mirren get caught playing out from the back. They nick it, but the precision passing was really good and rolled it into Boyle, and he just opens up the foot and finishes it way into the far corner. An excellent finish to put them in front, but St Mirren have responded, Kenny.
Yeah, I mean, I know you like Josh Mulligan. It was a really nice finish. He's a player you really like, isn't he?
He's I think strong mobility, can get about the pitch, can get a goal, versatile, because he can play right back, right wing back, middle of the pitch as well. It's no surprise to me he's gone to Hibs and he's done really well, and as I said, a well executed finish. I think there's more to come from him. Still a young lad as well, and time to develop, and there's a lot more bits can be added to his game, but certainly since he's gone to Hibs, really kicked on his career, and I think he'll go further.
A player I know you also really like, and a player you've worked with, Marcus Fraser. Thought he had the opener for St Mirren, so the ball came in, and again he was quite clearly offside, wasn't he?
Yeah, just right, because the crosser nearly played him on.
Yeah.
He was just in front of the crosser. If it's in line, it doesn't matter, or he's slightly behind the crosser, it doesn't matter what other players are there from Hibs. So he was just in front of him. The cross comes in, he puts it away well. I texted him last week when he made the cup final. Mad as a hatter.
Is he? What's it like to manage?
No, you don't have to manage. That's my full point in case with Marcus Fraser. He is self-run, and he's that well thought of. He's vice captain as well. He self-runs the dressing room. He's just one of those ones as a manager or a coach, you go, how good is that? I don't ever have to speak to him, and there's not many like that. A lot of them, as you know, high maintenance. There's loads of scenarios to players, but he's one you can just let him go on. There's a lot of centre halves come to St Mirren, and they all think, even when they've changed manager and every manager's gone in there and they think he'll be the position that goes there, and he just sees them off time after time after time, and he's so highly thought of, and he hardly ever scores, so that would have been a brilliant occasion for Marcus, but you know he stuck it away well, but he was fractionally offside.
Stephen Naismith is alongside Rob. It's been a good first half, Stephen.
It has. Probably the thing that's missing is that quality in the final third. I think Hibs have looked the more composed and more comfortable. But both teams have had their opportunities. The quality of them less so good, but the goal was a great moment. And as I said on commentary, it's poor from a St Mirren point of view. Poor ball from George. But as soon as Hibs get control of possession, they make the right decisions. They don't just cross it early. They don't try and quickly get the ball in the middle of the pitch. McGrath does a lot of good work and waits for the support of Mulligan, who, again, on quality, people will watch the goal and say, it's an easy enough finish, but to just crest it and just guide it into the net's all that's needed, and that takes a bit of intelligence, and Mulligan had that. So yeah, it's been a good game. I don't think it's ending here. I think St Mirren will create better chances in the second half, but Hibs have looked more threat down the sides of the centre halves of St Mirren, and I think that could be something that could get them an advantage later on in the game.
You definitely get the feeling, Daisy, that there's going to be more goals, don't you? Just from what I'm watching in here, just with the chances created, and St Mirren playing their part, some good passages of play, unlucky with the header from Bacchus, a couple of headers. There was their opportunities, but you don't feel as if the goals are stopping here.
No, I think as the game goes on, and like I said in commentary as well, Boyle and Bowie are playing really wide out of possession, so it's forcing St Mirren to play higher and their centre halves to step in, and all it's doing is, as soon as that ball turns over, it's one pass and a Boyle or a Bowie could be in and goal. So that'll be the game plan in the second half for both teams. I'd imagine Hibs will want to still have that control and composure, but knowing there could be chances here as the game goes on and it stays this scoreline. And St Mirren never really changed. They're a real threat for their free kicks and their set plays. They have been tonight. They've looked dangerous, but as the manager said, they were clinical in the cup semi. They need to be a bit more clinical in this second half.
Stephen, as you said, he's not big on changes, Stephen Robinson, but yourself and Billy are very, very good at explaining, just tactical things to guys like myself, to our listeners. So, and Billy can jump in on this. If you're Stephen Robinson at half time, what tweaks would you be looking at making?
I wouldn't be changing. I don't think it's necessary to change too much. I think it will be small details of positional play. Like I think for Hibs, when Hibs are building up, they're playing with one centre mid dropping deep, which as soon as the St Mirren strikers go to press, he's free, and then that's what started a lot of Hibs attacks. Hibs have been better at making the game predictable and forcing St Mirren into the wider areas. Like I said, it's all been down Hibs left. When you've got Declan John with some great delivery, maybe try and get him into more advanced positions to get that delivering quality in the box, because that has been where you've looked the biggest threat when the balls have been put in the box. But as the game goes on, inevitably St Mirren will need to take more risks. I think Ayunga will come on at some point from one of the forwards, because that's a kind of natural normal change. McMenamin can come on and he's got a bit of quality, and he can see a forward pass, but there is spaces there. There's spaces for both teams between the centre halves and the wing backs of both teams.
Right, what we'll do now, as I said, there was a 3 o'clock kick-off today. Billy was alongside me in the studio. There was also a VAR intervention there, correctly so. It finished Falkirk 1, Livingston 1. We heard earlier on from the Livy boss, Davy Martindale. Let's now hear from the Falkirk manager, John McGlynn. He's been speaking with our reporter, Martin Dowden.
John, obviously conceding late is always going to hurt. Overall, how did you feel that panned out, and was that a merited outcome for you?
Yeah, I thought we were a better team first half, and I thought Livingston were a better team second half. We lost a bit of control in the second half in the game, and without getting too many goal scoring opportunities, they certainly had the better of the second half. Scott had a save from a header, and then unfortunately for us, the free kick was a header that goes in. So they did have a lot more of the ball in the second half, and then it went towards our goal. We defended well for the vast majority of it. Unfortunately, we didn't defend that, and we come away with only 1 point instead of the 3. We maybe should have been more superior in the first half. Probably should have been further ahead in the first half, but nothing in the game whatsoever. I think a draw is a fair result. 1 point, it's still an important point. You've just got to keep putting points on the board. As long as you're not getting beaten, you're putting points on the board, then that'll we're disappointed, but nonetheless it could be an important point.
Maybe a measure of how far you've come, that you're disappointed with, you're now in 16 points after 12 games, but still in third. It's been a good start. It's been a good start.
It has, we can't get too caught up on that. Yeah, it has been a good start. Yeah, absolutely. Hard games all the time. Every game's difficult. Livingston are a decent team, make no mistake about that, and I'm sure they're going to pick up more points. We just look a little bit in the second half to do a little bit better, Against Kilmarnock the week before, we couldn't get ourselves a 3-goal cushion, and you're not going to do that every week, but we'd have to have been 2 or 3 goals up today to have come away with that and kind of keep putting ourselves into that position. But we're delighted with where we're at.
Livingston, I think, are maybe a little annoyed about a couple of decisions. Have you had a view, particularly the penalty one, I guess?
Haven't seen the penalty. No, I haven't seen it. The game played on for a little while. I would never had any idea about a penalty until it was mentioned. So it was and I haven't looked at it yet. I'm sure we will. But no, the game had gone on. No one was. We didn't claim for a penalty as far as I could make out. So no, I've not seen it. It came out of the blue for me. So.
Finally, part of me thinks, I wonder if you would just like to keep playing and not have a break, given how well it's been going. But what do you use this period of time to do with the squad, given again the success that you've been having?
Yeah, we've got a bounce game on Tuesday for the guys that have not been getting maybe much game time, an opportunity for them to try and take a place in the team. The others, it's a matter of rest, recover, and get prepared to go again in 2 weeks' time against Dundee United up there. So looking forward to that. A little bit of time to look over things, see where we can maybe go and add to what we've got points wise in the table. Just to be an opportunity to go over things and see where we can do better.
Thank you, John. Cheers.
John McGlynn there, Billy. I felt a very fair reflection from him on the game. We watched it come into the studio. Alan Preston was there for us, just looking at the league table. So Falkirk, as things stand, as a result of Hibs winning the game so far at half-time in Paisley. Falkirk, what a fantastic start to the season. 4th in the table, and Livy bottom, but a vital point for them today, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Julie touched on it when she was saying about how they stay attached, Livingston, and then they go up to 8. They're only a point behind Dundee, and then there's a batch with 10 as well. So just one win flips it for them. So it's important they stay in touch. Falkirk, yeah, they'll be disappointed. Played well. We've spoken about the Kilmarnock game many times, but blowing Kilmarnock away first half, Kilmarnock a little bit better second, and then Livingston at home. Now, perfect scenario would have been 6 points, but he's got 4, John McGlynn, and they are. He's right, because he said a phrase that just keep putting points on the board. That's all you've got to do, and that just jogged my memory, because Kilmarnock were third a couple of weeks ago, Ken.
Yes.
And suddenly they go on a bad run. So every point John McGlynn realises is crucial, and if you keep on getting results and not get a run of results where you just constantly lose games, they'll stay up, and that's the way he's looking at it.
Yeah, and looking at that live table, and of course there are 4 games tomorrow, all covered on Sports Sound. 3 o'clock starts, Aberdeen, Motherwell, Dundee Rangers, Hearts against Dundee United. 4 o'clock start, Celtic against Kilmarnock, as Billy was mentioning there. But it's so tight in the table. So looking at the live table now, Hibs are on 18 points, Falkirk 16 points, Rangers 15, Motherwell make up the top 6 on 14 points, United 13, Aberdeen, Kilmarnock, St Mirren all on 10 points, Dundee on 9 points, Livingston on 8 points. And that's a message, I'm sure, after the international break from Davy Martindale. Depending, of course, what happens tomorrow. But he was saying, get a win, and we're right in the mix of things, and we're drawing clubs right back in alongside us. So really, really tight in the Premiership. Some good games today, just the 2 games, but really good actually. The first one at Falkirk Stadium, and it's been a great first half in Paisley. So it's a choice of listening now on BBC Radio Scotland. You want to stick with the football commentary, then you can hear that on Radio Scotland medium wave. That's where the football commentary is. Myself and Billy will stay with you right here on BBC Radio Scotland. We'll take you through to 7 o'clock with Take the Floor, and then myself and Billy, of course, will be back with the football later in the programme. So we can hand you back to Paisley now. That's where the game is. Rob McLean and Stephen Naismith there. We'll stay with you right here, Billy. Plenty for us to discuss between now and 7 o'clock. So what we should...
So welcome back to Paisley. St Mirren 0, Hibs 1 at half-time, and both teams are out and ready to go. Second half, and as you were in terms of the personnel, no changes so far either during the first half or during the interval. That all might change in the next 10 or 15 minutes. But it's Hibs who have the edge. St Mirren unbeaten in their last 8 league meetings with Hibs. That's some record. That could all change depending on how the second 45 goes. The last Hibs win against St Mirren was in May 2023, and it was here. So St Mirren will be looking to blast their way out of the blocks here at the start of the second half. Declan John getting high up the pitch, left-hand side. Killian Phillips available for the pass. Bacchus tries to force it in. Now it's Declan John again. It's a great ball across goal. Early pressure on the Hibs goal. Can they find the equaliser? Final ball. So Landaloo with his back to goal and struggling to get a touch on it to control it. Here they come again though. Landaloo with his back to goal. What a finish that is. Absolutely brilliant from Dan Lundaloo. Well, you can make that 4 goals in 4 games now for the St Mirren striker. He just got that half yard he needed, and he bends the shot around Salinger, and it's 1-1.
It was a bit of constant pressure there. Great work down the left with Declan John. Bacchus keeps it alive. They then keep the attack in the Hibs half. His goal in the semi-final, everybody's talking about how good it was. This is the same goal, but he manufactures the build-up himself. He brings it in, he Cruyff turns it, he spins the defender, and he just bends it with his right foot, round the goalie, into the back of the net, and it's a brilliant start in this second half for St Mirren.
So that goal with just over a minute gone after the restart, and it is top striking play from Lundaloo. St Mirren look to have uncovered a real talent here, and well, inevitably the groans around the ground, because there's going to be a VAR check to see if it's going to stand. Didn't you love the old days when the ball went in the net and you knew what you were doing with a celebration?
You get to celebrate twice now. I tell you, in the build up to it as well, Phillips does great. He runs over the ball, and it's not going to count.
Well, Dan Lundaloo is across on the touchline trying to find out what is wrong with it, the reason that the goal has been ruled out. It's a wonderful finish from him as well, and it's a crying shame. Not if you're a Hibs fan, of course, but otherwise it's a crying shame that goal doesn't stand. Brilliantly taken opportunity, but the scoreline stays at St Mirren 0, Hibs 1.
Deja vu. First half was the exact same. Second half we've had the goal chopped off.
Here come Hibs with the man whose goal has stood, Josh Mulligan, playing a ball through towards Kieran Bowie. He just slips under his boot, and Declan John gets it away to Miguel Freckleton. Fired forward towards Lundaloo, wrestling with Rocky Bushiri, managed to work it on to Mandron. He flicks it through, tried to get it in behind Grant Hanley. Hanley getting a touch back to his goalkeeper, and out to Hanley, then Bushiri, and over the touchline off the highly frustrated Dan Lundaloo at the moment. I don't know whether Billy Dodd's got a closer look at the reruns, but we'll maybe find out later on why that goal was chalked off. But it certainly has sparked a lot of frustration here among the St Mirren fans, and as you say, Stephen, having seen 2 goals ruled out by VAR, it's all very painful.
Yeah, I think it's offside just as it comes into Lundaloo, and that's why the goal's not stood.
Freckleton with a header on the halfway line, powering it forward. Cadden replying for Hibs. Then it's Declan John with a flick towards Mandron. In goes Bushiri to win it. It's all pretty scrappy stuff at the moment. Phillips comes out on top in a midfield tussle with McGrath. Richardson wide right. Liam Donnelly floats one into the box. Pretty speculative from him. Maybe hoping that Declan John could be on the end of it, but he was nowhere near getting close to it, and the ball bounces behind harmlessly for a goal kick. Well, a pretty fiery start to the second half, with St Mirren thinking they'd immediately levelled things up, which was very much their plan, but VAR with other ideas. Barlasser just spins on the ball, rolls it back to Hanley, and then out to Jack Iredale. Mulligan linking it together. Nicky Cadden out on that side as well. Hibs will be lifted by that goal having been chalked off, and it's McGrath just outside the box who rolls it wide for Nicky Cadden. Great ball in from Cadden, flicked clear, danger not over. Chris Cadden onto it, gets it back right side of the box, his cross ball in, King's header away, drops for Nicky Cadden, deflection on his left foot volley, and the ball flashes wide.
really good effort. And again, similar to the goal that was chopped off for St Mirren, Hibs keep the attack alive. They end up getting 3 efforts here, and the last one is at Cadden at the back post, and his left foot takes the deflection and goes wide for a corner.
So corner kick on the left hand side for Hibs, right in front of their own fans, behind Shamal George's goal. Here comes McGrath with the right foot in swinger, back post, headed away by Freckleton, only as far as Barlasser with a shot at goal which was blocked. Phillips looking for Donnelly. In went Josh Mulligan to win it for Hibs, but the game is stopped because there's a man in black down in the penalty box. Martin Boyle getting back to his feet. The physios were on, but I don't think Boyle's in need of any great attention. He is though complaining. He's just been cute as a forward. He's been hit and he's went down as if he's had a head knock and puts pressure on the referee to stop the game. Yeah, not too many hit the deck better than Martin Boyle. That's a good trait as a forward. Read the room, read the situation. There could have been a counter-attack. You liked that a bit yourself in your playing days, didn't you? You were certainly the collapsible legs. Barlasser with a switch for Hibs to find Nicky Cadden left hand side. Room to run into, having a look, measuring the cross, fired in low, came off Bowie, breaks to Chris Cadden. Hibs make it 2-0. Lashed in by Chris Cadden at the back post, and Hibs, having looked as if they'd been pegged back to 1-1, open up a 2-0 advantage.
This is a rerun of the first half, and it's again really good from Hibs. Ball down the left hand side, Chris Cadden. They just are all both in the attack, the Cadden brothers. It gets put in from the left hand side, blocked but comes to the back. I'm actually thinking Chris Cadden should hit it first time, but he takes a touch and he hits it across the goalie into the side net, and then it's 2-0. I must say, 2 guys that probably haven't even mentioned here, Mulligan and McGrath, have been excellent for Hibs. Their intelligence, their movement, their way to pass when they're playing passes, that's probably been the biggest difference, I'd say, in both teams.
The usual delay on kick-off while the goal is checked. Possible offside. Well, the St Mirren fans will be hoping that there's some element of VAR balance in operation here tonight, and this one can get chalked off as well. They've had 2 ruled out by VAR, but Chris Cadden is pretty keen that this counts because he doesn't score too many.
It's very tight. I think initially when it's getting played, you're actually not expecting anything to be suggesting that it's offside, but there is a couple of defenders, and I'm not sure who the Hibs forward is in between them. Now it's the lines will be getting drawn to see whose foot's nearest the goal.
Yeah, clearly a very tight call, this one. VAR in the spotlight again, but this goal is going to count, and Hibs have got a 2-0 lead, and they are well on their way now, you would think, to ending a really poor run of results against St Mirren. And the Paisley team have a massive job on their hands now to try to get something out of this game, and Bowie is wrestling and getting away from Richard King, and he was hauled back in the end by St Mirren's number 5, who's having an unhappy evening. He was culpable at the first goal, and he was under real pressure there from Bowie, conceding a free kick and being booked.
It's excellent forward play. The space in front of Bowie's there, the ball's played into it, but it's bouncing. He reels the defender in, and it just bounces over both their heads, and he just rolls the centre half, gets goal side of him, and he the defender King doesn't allow him any room to go forward and just brings him down. But it was excellent forward play. It's what you need from your striker. Relieves the pressure, and now you've got a free kick 35 yards from goal.
Well, another goal for Hibs, and you would imagine it's curtains for St Mirren at that point. Maybe already it's going to be a tough deficit to come back from. Here's the free kick, touched by Nicky Cadden to Dunbar Lasser, and it was a good ball in as well. And in the end, the glancing header goes wide of target, but there's not much margin for error now for St Mirren. 2 goals behind. It's a tall order, isn't it, to try to come back from this. Josh Mulligan in the first half, Chris Cadden in the second half, and David Gray's team are well on their way here to getting the win they so badly want to pretty much kick-start their league season and get them to where they want to be.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Stephen Robinson's getting a couple of subs ready. It'll be interesting to see what he does here, whether he changes to a back 4 to get more bodies forward, or just the personnel change.
I don't know if you noticed there just moments ago, there was a long ball down the middle for Hibs, and Richard King just let it bounce. I mean, he looked to be just lost in terms of where he was. We've just seen him launch the ball across and out as well. I'm not sure he's ever recovered, Richard King, from being culpable at goal number 1.
It's been a tough night for him. I think a couple of errors in possession and out of possession, and once they start, that confidence does waver on the pitch.
So Conor McMenamin is on for St Mirren. Roland Idowu as well. Liam Donnelly, one of those who went off.
I think Richardson in the right wing-back positions went off also.
Yeah, Jaden Richardson off too. So a double switch there for Stephen Robinson as Martin Boyle darts down the right side of the penalty box. He was well picked out, and his movement was typically sharp, and just in the end he got the ball caught under his feet and it drifted behind for a goal kick. Otherwise there might have been more trouble for St Mirren, and they've had enough already tonight. Do you see them coming back from 2 behind?
I think it's a big ask. They've changed their midfield 3 now. They're playing with a 10 and 2 6s, whereas before they had a kind of flatter 3. And that'll just to be picking up their second balls and hopefully playing some through passes for the likes of Phillips to run on to in the 2 strikers. But I think they need a goal quickly in the next 10 minutes to build that belief.
A free kick for St Mirren, just about on the halfway line. Shamal George floats it up towards Mikael Mandron, but good strong defending from Hibs, and they immediately launch it to release Martin Boyle down the left-hand side. Has the ball, now looking to jink his way back into the danger zone, and finally a pass threaded through, intended to go back to Boyle, but it's gone all the way through to Shamal George in goal for St Mirren, who have a major challenge ahead of them here. And well, psychology plays a part, and St Mirren thought they'd levelled this game up early second half, and suddenly they find themselves trailing by 2. Good positive run down the right side from Idowu to force the corner kick for the home team. You get the feeling they need to go back soon just to give them the belief that they can get something out of this.
Yeah, they do, especially with it being 2. Idowu shows the intent, straight down the line, showing his pace, getting to the byline, trying to put across the box. That's what they've been told to do, and need to keep continuing to do that.
Corner kick right hand side. Declan John swings it in. Two Hibs players going for the same ball there, but they managed to get the job done and glance the ball clear of the penalty box and out for a throw in left hand side. We're at the hour mark. St Mirren 0, Hibs 2 on BBC Radio Scotland. Keanu Bacchus to take the long throw for the home team. In it comes. Powerful header away from Bowie it was. Back with Bacchus. Declan John, left-hand side. Into the box it goes. And again, Hibs very strong defensively and really good striker play as well. Again from Kieran Bowie when the ball was played to him. He just shielded the ball, stood firm, waited for the foul, and he didn't have to wait too long.
It's the intelligence. He's not fighting with the defender. He's just getting in front of him, waiting for the contact and shielding the ball.
Jack Iredale prods it through towards the lively Boyle. The ball squared to Mulligan in the middle of the pitch. Does a little spin and then hooks a pass to Rocky Bashiri. Now scorer of goal number 2, Chris Cadden, right hand side, slips the ball inside Declan John, but Josh Mulligan is not going to make up the ground, and it goes behind for a goal kick. St Mirren 0, Hibs 2, and Hibs will move to 18 points if they win this. That's to within 2 of Celtic, who play Kilmarnock tomorrow in a 4 o'clock kick-off. Hibs looking to go on a winning run from here and get themselves up into a challenging position at the top end of the Premiership. And they have the quality, there's no doubt about that. Good play again from Bowie, so strong on the ball. 25 yards from goal with Cadden, right-hand side. Barlasser in the middle of the pitch, spins around and plays it back to Cadden. Chris Cadden sets off looking for that little half yard to get the ball into the box. The cross blocked by Declan John. Takes the throw in to Mulligan. Cadden again, lovely flick. Mulligan into the box. Played it across goal. Stabbed away by St Mirren, but not convincingly cleared yet. Cadden onto it again, Chris Cadden, and the ball just spins away from him in the end and through to Shamal George. Hibs threatening to score again.
Again, excellent play for Mulligan. He's at the heart of everything. I said it earlier, him and McGrath. I do think at some point one of them will come off and they'll shore it up and just sit and be compact and just wait for the opportunities to come as the game goes on, but the two of them have been excellent tonight.
Martin Boyle to Nicky Cadden, left-hand side, heading for the byline, bustling his way forward, in towards Bowie, headed away by King. Now with Cadden, right-hand side, swings in the cross ball, too much on it, and this time it's going to swerve away and behind for a goal kick. 63.5 minutes played. Mulligan and Chris Cadden, and 2-0 Hibs. Into the midfield for St Mirren to Idowu, one of the subs. Killian Phillips trying to get it back to Idowu. It's cut out and Boyle slips the ball through, and Kieran Bowie's on the end of it. Can he get it gathered for the shot at goal? No is the answer, but back to Boyle, sprinting towards the edge of the area, and then rolls it wide for Chris Cadden. Back for Josh Mulligan, takes a touch, sets off, into the box, tries the shot, didn't really catch it from an angle, and it's a comfortable save for Shamal George.
That's the wee moments with Bowie. Phillips gives up possession, Boyle slips Bowie in. If he's quick and he takes a good touch, he can get a shot off, but his touch is just behind him. He then lets the defenders back and the chance is gone, and that's the wee moments that he could be walking off here with a goal that's not overly difficult, just if the wee bits are tidier.
McMenamin with the left foot cross ball in. It was a good one as well, looking for the head of Lundulu, but he had his back to goal and he had to come back out to try and get on the end of the cross, and in the end it glances behind for a goal kick. St Mirren hoping McMenamin can make a difference for them down that right hand side. But it's Hibs who lead here by 2-0. They've won only one of their last 6 league games here before tonight, but looking to put that record straight, and well on target at the moment, you would say. Freckleton's headed away for St Mirren, collected by Bacchus. Down goes Lundulu, not happy about the challenge of Rocky Bashiri, and he's across towards with the 4th official, and Stephen Robinson says get back on the pitch. The free kick is given and the yellow card is flashed in the face of Bashiri.
Yeah, that space behind Bashiri, he's just seen that the St Mirren have got good possession, they can find that ball, and he's just Lundaloo, he's just blocked him off very early, hoping the ref didn't see it, but the ref's pulled it back and they've got a free kick just right in front of the dugout.
St Mirren looking to bring this game back to life. Free kick out on the left-hand side. Bacchus leaves it to Declan John, who swings it in. Well, Salinger came for the punch, didn't quite get there. One of his defenders is still down, I think clattered into by the goalkeeper. It's probably the one moment in the match so far where Salinger hasn't got it absolutely right. And it almost coughed up an opportunity for St Mirren. But it's Hibs back on the ball now, looking to retain control of this game. Bad challenge by Bacchus on Mulligan as he twisted away from him. A clear free kick on the halfway line. And the ball is back with Grant Hanley, Scotland defender, to Jack Iredale, who doesn't waste too many opportunities on getting forward down the left-hand side, linking with Nicky Cadden. Fired the ball across goal as well, and had Bowie made a run across the goalkeeper, that might have been half a chance.
Yeah, it was. I think Hibs are just sitting here at the right moments, picking the right moment to attack, and they do look a threat most times when they're going forward.
McMenamin back to Killian Phillips. King to Freckleton. Richard King on the halfway line, straight ball down the middle this time. Great movement from Killian Phillips, great reach as well with his right boot to pluck that ball out of the air. It's whipped away from him in the end, but nobody trying harder to get St Mirren back into this than Killian Phillips. Bacchus 25 yards out. Well, he was caught in two minds about flighting in a cross or trying to find the top corner with a shot. In the end, it was neither. Change for Hibs, couple of changes for Hibs. Thibaut Clige is going to be coming on, Josh Campbell as well. And let's see who's coming off. I think it's going to be Kieran Bowie making way at this stage.
McGrath, I think, one of the ones coming off. But just going back to that St Mirren attack, that's the last three attacks St Mirren have had where they've overhit their cross or the balls ran out for a goal kick. In the first half, they were keeping the attacks going, which was building the pressure. And I think that's been something that they need to change to build that pressure and ask Hibs to defend.
Yes, Mark Boyle coming off, so it's going to be Clige and Bowie up front for Hibs, with Josh Campbell playing just in behind. McGrath has gone off as well. And he's a pretty lively operator, is Thibaut Clige. Martin Boyle is quick, but Clige is not slow either. And Hibs will be looking for the goal that just kills this off completely. It's St Mirren at the moment pushing for a goal back. Lundulu to Mandron, saved by Salinger, and it wouldn't pop up on the rebound for St Mirren. And when the ball's crossed back in, Rafa Salinger makes a really good catch under pressure, but St Mirren were not fortunate there when the ball spilled out off the goalkeeper. There were two in the box looking for the rebound, but it fell for neither, Stephen.
No, it didn't, and that's that wee bit you're just hoping. It's a tap in if it drops to one of the two that are chasing in, and Declan John crosses it eventually, and again Salinger does it excellently for the cross.
Freckleton fires it forward, Hanley heads it away, collected in the midfield by Mulligan. Left hand side, Nicky Cadden. Just controlled possession at the moment from Hibs. They don't have to chase the game at all. They are very much the team in control. It's St Mirren who have to be chasing things. Cadden's cross blocked by McMenamin. And again, Hibs just worked the ball around the pitch. Hanley, Mulligan, Bushiri, and we're inside the last 20 minutes in Paisley. St Mirren 0, Hibs 2, BBC Radio Scotland. First Bursting forward is Josh Mulligan, looking to work the 1-2 with Cleege, almost in for another goal there, cleared by Phillips. But St Mirren just can't keep the ball. Chris Catton has it, rolled inside towards Bowie. Phillips challenge, collected by Barlasser this time, and now Campbell for Hibs. Looking comfortable at the moment, Hibs, and looking threatening as well as they chase the third goal. Nicky Cadden's cross ball in, headed away by Freckleton. Marcus Fraser looking to complete the clearance, and now St Mirren tried to pass their way forward. Chested down by Idowu. Phillips on the charge, fired inside from Mandron, couldn't get it gathered under his feet, and it's Grant Hanley driving forward. Nicky Cadden fires a low ball in, collected by Shamal George, with Thibaut Cleege desperate to get a finishing touch.
Game's opening up a bit more. Not sure that's what Hibs want, but Grant Hanley does really well. Down the left, gives it to Nicky Cadden, and he puts a dangerous ball right behind the defence, but the goalie George picks it up well.
Idowu trying to angle a ball wide for McMenamin, easily headed away by Nicky Cadden. We're at 72 minutes in Paisley. St Mirren 0, Hibs 2, and another throw of the dice from Stephen Robertson. He's going to swap it up front. He's going to take off Mandron and put on Jonah Ayunga in that position, desperate for a goal. As St Mirren tried to get something out of this game, but the odds at the moment stacked heavily in Hibs' favour. 2 up and looking dangerous pretty much every time they go forward.
Yeah, and that comes from their build-up play. Their build-up, Mulligan, Barrett in the midfield are controlling the game with the 3 centre-halves, and then in the right moments they're going forward and they're looking dangerous.
Free kick, St Mirren out on the right-hand side. Conor McMenamin swings it in, left-footed. Solid header away from Chris Cadden, it was, doing the defending. Here comes St Mirren again. They have to push, they have to gamble. Slipped out wide. In comes the cross ball, stabbed away from Hanley inside the 6-yard box. Really good defending as St Mirren asked the question, and in the end Bashiri forced it, turning the ball behind. St Mirren have a corner kick.
Yeah, another dangerous ball in, this time from McMenamin. Grant Hanley does really well at the near post to block it, but this is better from St Mirren. They're keeping the attack alive, they win themselves a corner, and it's just building that wee bit of pressure.
16 minutes to go, 2-0 Hibs. Corner kick for St Mirren. Bacchus plays it into the far post area, and well, nobody there in black and white stripes, but again, very confident handling from Rafa Salinger, and it's not a bad ball downfield. He boomed it right down the middle for Josh Campbell, and he was just maybe a bounce away from getting on the end of that.
Yeah, it looked as if he was favourite at one point, but as he kind of looks round to see where the ball's coming in the air, he lost momentum and he's running. The ball goes right through to George.
Richard King to Declan John for a St Mirren side who have to keep the faith. They have to keep on believing that they can rescue a point out of this. But as the minutes tick by, that becomes less and less likely. Declan John to Killian Phillips. Fired in low to Dan Lundulu. Good feet from him. Played back out to Bacchus. Ayunga getting himself involved. And on the right side is McMenamin. Stabbed to the byline. Can St Mirren find something from here? The cutback is behind Lundulu. And it's Chris Cadden who slides in to hook the ball away. Hibs expecting to come under some pressure, and right now they are. Declan John cuts inside and then plays the ball back out wide. Idowu's cross ball in, and great defending from Nicky Cadden, tucking in and getting that away with his right boot. On the halfway line, Miguel Freckleton for St Mirren. Gets it back from Killian Phillips. Now King in the centre circle. Marcus Fraser. They have to push bodies forward. They have to take some risks. McMenamin coming in off the right side. Phillips sweeps the ball across for Declan John. Declan John's delivery in. Headed away by Hanley. Seems to be in the right place at the right time regularly at the moment for Hibs. And as the David Gray's team tried to break, there was a pretty poor challenge from Declan John, who sensed the danger on the counter-attack there, and he takes the yellow card for the team.
Yes, Declan John puts the ball in for this left-hand side, and Grant Hanley's position is excellent. He's in the right place. He's making it really difficult for John to bend that ball in behind the centre-halves. And Hibs start to break. Declan John sees that he's vulnerable, and he wipes out any sort of counter-attack for Hibs.
Approaching 77 minutes, we're going to see Miguel Chaiwa on the pitch shortly for Hibs as they prepare to make another change. Chris Cadden plays the ball down the line, collected by Kieran Bowie. Inside it goes to Dan Barlaser, stumbled but still managed to get it back to Bowie. Shifted across to the left-hand side. Just a touch and a cross from Nicky Cadden. The knockdown from Bowie to Cadden, who fires it across goal, and it goes behind off Marcus Fraser. Could have been another goal there for Hibs. It's going to be a corner instead.
Yep, it's a deep cross for Nicky Cadden. Bowie does really well, near enough on the byline to header it back, keep the ball in play, and it's just behind Chris Cadden, who puts the ball, manages to get the ball across the face of goal, but Marcus Fraser's there to put out for the corner.
Okay,
any danger.
Yeah, so here's that change. Miguel Chaiwa will replace Dan Barlaser in the middle of the midfield for Hibs. He's quietly impressive, isn't he, Barlaser?
Really good. He brings a calmness. I think that's probably been a big part of Hibs' game today, especially first half. That control when they're in possession. He finds it for a centre-half, he gives it, and then he goes and finds a new position that's very good for a centre-half to give him. So he's had a good night's work.
So the Zambian international Chaiwa takes his place as we await this corner kick, and the clock is ticked to 78 minutes. 2-0 Hibs in Paisley. Nicky Cadden, the driven corner kick, lots on it, too much on it in the end. Kept in just about by Josh Campbell on the opposite side. Fired back into the middle of the pitch. Josh Mulligan with a curling ball in to the back post. What a great delivery that was from Mulligan. St Mirren managed to block it eventually at the back post as Hibs threatened to go even further in front.
Excellent ball for Mulligan. He just bends it right to that back post. There was a couple of Hibs players driving in at the back and make contact with it, blocked, and back out for another corner.
Another goal would put the tin lid on it. In from Nicky Cadden, flicked away by Phillips. Josh Campbell turns it back to the edge of the area. Chaiwa's first involvement sees him scoring. Big deflection on it. It's gone in off the underside of the crossbar. Miguel Chaiwa will happily claim that anyway. And Hibs have got all 3 points in Paisley. There's no way back now for St Mirren. Saints 0, Hibs 3.
Some strike, very little backlift. The ball comes out of the edge of the box, and it's laid back outside the edge of the box, and you're thinking hit it first time, but he puts his studs on it, rolls it forward, and a St Mirren defender's closing him down, and with little backlift he sends a rocket towards goal. And I think is it maybe Fraser that tries to header it. He actually heads it into the ground, bounces up and hits the bar and goes in. A fantastic goal, and I think, as you say, I think that's a game won for Hibs.
More changes coming up for St Mirren. Scott Tanzer's going to come on. Landulu, one of the players, coming off. Declan John coming off. But this game is gone for St Mirren, courtesy of that third Hibs goal. Not sure if it was on target or not. It was certainly struck with power. It was a clean strike from Chaiwa, They took that big touch, maybe off Marcus Fraser, in off the underside of the crossbar, but what can't be argued about is that Hibs are home and hosed.
Yeah, hopefully the camera angle's poor and it doesn't let you see if it's going wide or not and he gets the goal, because it was as I said, little backlift, a rocket of a shot and a nice goal.
Scored his other goal for Hibs was in Europe, if my memory serves. Really good goal as well from Miguel Trauba. I like him a lot from what I've seen of him. Looks a really tidy player, and that was some hit. The ball rolled back by Josh Campbell and he struck it with real venom, and the deflection gave Shamal George no chance, rattling on off the... It's always good when they rattle in off the underside of the crossbar, Stephen.
Always look better. I would touch on also, see the players that have come on for Hibs show you the strength, and their recruitment has been good. Campbell's coming on who done really well last season, and every player that's come on the pitch looks as if they bring something to this squad, which David Gray will be certainly pleased with.
And goalie coach Craig Sampson whistling another sub round from the warm-up. Maybe Junior Hoylett going to be coming on, we'll see. But Hibs in that luxurious position of being able to make changes, just give some players a little bit of game time, freshen things up, maybe save some players who've piled a lot of effort and energy into this so far. This is shaping up as a very emphatic win for Hibs, as the ball is flushed across goal for St Mirren, and story of the night for them. Nobody on the end of it to tuck it away. They could have been ahead inside 5 minutes of this match. They could have been level within a couple of minutes of the restart into the early second half, but those decisions have gone against them, and in the end they've been heavily beaten by Hibs.
Looking at the chances they have, I think it has been one of those nights. The ball hasn't just fallen the right side for any players coming into the box. That one there is a fantastic ball across the face of the goal, and Ayunga's in at the back post, but Iredale's just in front. It's been one of those nights for St Mirren.
83 minutes, St Mirren 0, Hibs 3. Down goes Chaiwa. In fact, a couple of Hibs players down, rolling around on the deck at the moment. Jordan Abita's going to be coming on, Junior Hoylett as well. Double switch to round things off for David Gray. Everything's gone pretty swimmingly for him tonight. So Nicky Cadden and Kieran Bowie are the players coming off here.
Always nice being able to make a couple of subs when the game's done, keep everybody nice and happy, get some big players for you off the pitch with some minutes to spare as well. So it's been a good night's work for David Gray and his men.
Where can Hibs be this season if they can build on this, get a winning run going? They've drawn too many games, haven't they, so far? What can they be in the final shakedown this season? What sort of position
I think their expectation has to be where it normally is, and that's fighting for European football. The unfortunate thing for Hibs is Hearts have started excellently well. They've had a change in structure and how it's going to work, and that's probably been highlighted a lot. But after tonight's win, Hibs are 2 points off Celtic, who have been the best team in the league for the last decade.
Hibs have an appetite to do more damage. Junior Hoylett's first touch is to turn the ball back inside towards the onrushing Chris Cadden, who clearly, having scored one of his rare goals, fancies another. Didn't work out for him that time. And the ball goes behind for a goal kick. Crowd of around 7,000, I think, by the sounds of it, announced on the PA system there. 7116 is the official number, and the home support element pretty disappointed, pretty flattened with the way tonight has gone. But sometimes the margins are pretty fine when you think about those two goals that were chopped off tonight for St Mirren. Had even one of those counted, it might have been a different game.
Definitely. It's small margins, and I know the VAR's taking stick and it's had its criticisms, but tonight is the reason it's in. Clear errors in terms of offsides, and the goal shouldn't be standing, and that's where it comes in and it gives the results the proper result. I think that's the reason it's there for. But it's just been, unfortunately for St Mirren, it's been big moments for them, and the game's just drifted from them.
They're going to stay on 10 points from their quota of matches. They're 11 games so far, so disappointing. And still only the 8 league goals for St Mirren as well. So some of the stats are pretty disappointing, maybe more than pretty disappointing for Stephen Robinson. But Hibs are moving up. They're back into third. Falkirk were there briefly on the back of their 1-1 draw with Livingston today. But not just going back into third place and getting a badly needed win, but maybe this is something of a statement from Hibs tonight about what they want to do, how they want to play, where they want to go, how they see themselves in terms of the top flight.
If you're wanting to challenge for the European places, these are the places you need to come and put in performances that merit it, but ultimately get wins. In the last 8 meetings, Hibs have not won this fixture. And tonight's performance has been excellent. Even there you can see the back three, the 2 sixes, their build-up play has been excellent. They all know where the next pass is going, and they're reeling St Mirren into pressure them, and they're knocking the ball around them and taking away any of that pressure. So it's been a great performance from Hibs tonight.
Free kick, St Mirren, wondering if there is any crumb of consolation tonight for them, and the answer right now is no, because that ball into the box was again almost imperiously dealt with by Salinger. Hibs going through I say going through the motions, but they're still playing with a real zip about them, and if they can get goal number 4, they will happily accept that. We're almost at 88 minutes. Idowu for St Mirren, and Ayunga cuts back inside and tries to whip one inside the far post. It goes wrong side of the post for him, and again that just sums up what tonight has been all about for St Mirren.
Yeah, they pick the pocket of Bashiri, and it's a 3-on-2, and they actually make the wrong pass. They reverse the pass to this near side channel rather than going across, and Grant Hanley gets across and closes the space and makes a tough opportunity for the Ayunga.
He's been a good acquisition, hasn't he, for Hibs, Grant Hanley, at a time when the back three for Hibs was operating pretty well, but it's just introduced competition back there.
It has. O'Hara's been a good player for them, and him coming out of the team, they've got
Here goes Mulligan and Obita. Jordan Obita trying to squeeze a shot in, and down went Shamal George to turn it round the post. Hibs maybe not finished yet.
It's just another example of Hibs building up. That goes all the way from their box through the pitch, constant 1- and 2-touch passing, and ends with a really good effort, and that goes back to the chances. Maybe haven't been an excellent night for Hibs, but their performance has been very good away performance.
Inside the 90th minute in Paisley, St Mirren 0, Hibs 3. Corner kick for David Gray's team, whipped in by Junior Hoylett, juggled by Shamal George, but his defence gets him out of jail with a clearance. And down the pitch, it's Miguel Chaiwa who plays the ball back to Rafa Salinger. It's going to do wonders for Hibs' confidence, this, because this has been conclusive. Here goes Thibaut Cleage jinking his way into the box. He fancied getting in on the goal action, and it took a last-ditch challenge to thwart him. St Mirren go again as the game swings from one end to the other, and it's a pretty tame effort at goal, which doesn't take much saving for Salinger. So 5 minutes, a minimum of 5 will be added on. We're already inside that stoppage time, but we've known for some considerable time the outcome here, and it is Hibs, having failed to beat St Mirren in 2.5 years, who are doing it with a bit of style tonight. they could be a force to be reckoned with as this Premiership season goes on. The ball swept out towards Junior Hoylett, right-hand side, cuts in. Pretty poor challenge on him. Advantage was initially being played, but it will be called back for the free kick. It's a yellow card for Edowu, and it's a free kick for Hibs about 30 yards out, left of centre, right of centre I should say, and maybe someone's going to have a go at goal from here.
Yeah, I think when that attack was building up, you could just see eyes lighting up in the pitch for Hibs. The players were bombing forward, and the frustration when the Hoylett's wiped out is evident to see, because there's a few on there sensing that they've got a chance at a goal here.
Jordan Obita is over it. Junior Hoylett can strike them from long range. Is it going to be a little clip ball in behind the St Mirren defence, or is it going to be an effort on goal? It's Junior Hoylett who clips it in. Well, there is a header, and it's kept alive by Cleege on the byline, turned it right back into the 6-yard box, scrambled away. Hibs back on it with Hoylett. Already 3 goals up in Paisley and cruising towards all 3 points. But there's a real hunger about Hibs. There's never been a sense of, right, we can switch off now, we can drop down a gear. That's not happened at all. And even deep into stoppage time, the team in all black are still pushing to see if they can turn 3 into 4. Chris Cadden on halfway, knocks one in behind. Cleege tries to get there. Out comes Shamal George to get there first, the St Mirren goalkeeper. Plays it out to Tanzer and Edowu, and a really dangerous ball played back inside by Edowu. Cleege lays it off, and it was Josh Campbell with half a chance to make it 4-0.
Yeah, it's a really poor but pass infield from St Mirren. Cleege just gets the ball, and he actually does well to recognise Campbell coming up on the outside, lays it into Campbell's path, and Campbell, it's as if he's stretching when he takes a shot, and he hits it into the roof of the stand. Yeah, the hilarity among the Hibs fans in that stand was that the ball hit one of the lights under the roof of the stand, and it's broken one of the fastenings, and it's now hanging down almost in among the Hibs fans. But it is lights out for St Mirren. It was some time ago. Blown away really by Hibs. And in the final analysis, it could have been a heavier defeat than 3-0. Yeah, it could have, but it's not been, I wouldn't say the whole game's been one-sided. I think Hibs have played really well away from home. They've took good chances at the right times. St Mirren, what could have went against them has, with the offsides and just the break of the ball in the box. But the best players in the pitch for me have been McGrath and Milligan. They've been excellent. They've controlled the game at the right times, and they've been involved in the goals. Jordan
Obita just outside the box, left-hand side, fired it in low, took a deflection, and it was a really good reaction save from Shamal George to stop yet another goal flashing in for Hibs.
St Mirren players are just wanting the final whistle here. Game's done, they want in the changing rooms.
Yeah, it's been a strange game, as you say, because when you look at it, it could have finished all square potentially at one point, but also because of the chances Hibs have had, it could have been 4 or 5. Corner kick for Hibs, left-hand side, whipped in with lots of pace, headed away. We're almost finished here. We've added 4.5. Only seconds remaining. I think both teams would take the final whistle right now. Chaiwa making a run into the corner down the right-hand side. The ball stabbed out by Tanzer. David Dickinson having a look at his watch. Grant Hanley has the ball on the halfway line. That is full time in Paisley, and what a moment for Hibs with such a poor recent record against St Mirren. They haven't beaten them since May 2023, but that record has been ripped up now because Hibs have won pretty emphatically in the end in Paisley. There were moments where you wonder whether it might be St Mirren's night. Ahead, they had the ball in the net out inside 5 minutes. Marcus Fraser's header ruled out for offside. They thought they'd equalised early in the second half. Again, the spectacular finish from Lundulu was cancelled out. But in between time, Hibs were taking their chances, and well, they had chances in the end to even add to the 3 goals that they did score. It's a result that takes David Gray's team back into 3rd place. Falkirk were there briefly on the back of their 1-1 draw earlier with Livingston, but you got the feeling this was a statement win for Hibs today. After 6 draws in 11 games, they're back on the winning track again. They'll look to add to that after the international break, and they'll look to be a major force at the top end of the Premiership. A great demonstration of midfield play tonight from Josh Mulligan, who scored the first goal. Jamie McGrath was instrumental as well. Chris Cadden scored the second goal for them, and Miguel Chaiwa's deflected strike went in off the underside of the crossbar. Comprehensive in the end. St Mirren 0, Hibs 3.